talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, wheeling dealing, limousine riding, jet flying, son of a gun, and I'm having a hard time holding these alligators down.
Yo, what's going on, guys? Take the pills. There we go. What's up? What's up? Yo, Blasty, what's going on? There you go. Yeah, you like that intro? Yeah, Blasty's over on Twitch. Like that intro, yeah. I thought I wanted to get like some music that was DMCA free, that wasn't too long, so that's like a 2-minute thing that I want to put on all my intro when I do the development. So that would be kind of cool. I can bump them up to YouTube after and won't have to worry about it. I actually found them in where the hell was I looking? Oh, it was in the Stream Deck. So I'm not sure if you guys use Stream Deck or not. But in the Stream Deck, I will show you this. There's actually music in here in the Stream Deck. So if you do like play audio, like if I move this over, you guys can see that, right? Yeah. If I make a new button and I move that over here like this, and I do the browse, not the browse. Hold on. Where? Oh, this up here. So let me delete that. That's nothing to do with this. If I click this, it opens up like a whole section of things that you can go into. So you have like a whole music section that you can pull from by genre, different types of instruments, different types of mood, and they also have like sound effects, which is kind of cool. All free, so I'm assuming it's copyright free. No issues with that. But there's like hundreds in here. Yeah, this is pretty cool. So I tried to pick one that was, I like jazz and stuff like that. So I was trying to pick one that wasn't too popular, but something that's kind of cool. So I just figured this out the other day. You guys are probably using it the whole time, but whatever. Okay, got Kick, Twitch, Twitter all at once. Overload my, you need another monitor just to support all my stuff. But anyway, I just set this up, kind of cool. So I did, I have like my intro music here. I have a couple things that I put on just for sound things. I put this on too, which I have it go into chat so I can actually mute. If someone comes in, I can click the button. I thought that was kind of cool. So if someone comes in, I can just mute my button and it'll let the stream know in case you hear me talking to someone. It lets the stream know that I'm muted. You know what I mean? So that's kind of cool. So I put these buttons there to do that. All the intro, outro, BRB type things. I have a couple things over here. I'm not sure what the hell the cam is. The cam may be full screen. I'm not sure what that is. BRB music. Oh, my BRB button. Check this out. Might remind me to unmute. Yeah. I used to have a pop-up on the screen too that made this same symbol where it said mute and unmute. It'd show on the screen visually. So someone comes in and they missed the actual announcement, it would actually have a mute button on the screen. So when I'm looking over, I was like, oh, I forgot to unmute type deal. But the BRB screen is kind of cool. When I click the button, I have it play some music from that thing, which is kind of mellow. I'll do a quick sample here. Yeah. Thought that was kind of cool. Getting all fancy with it. I used to have like folders. You can have like nested folders in here. You click a button and it opens up another whole panel and stuff. But get kind of crazy with it, but just keeping it basic. Smooth jazz. Yes. Smooth jazz. Insert cat jam. Yeah, I do have I do have the emote over here. Let's see. Oh, it didn't go back to my game screen. I'm not gonna do that again. The other night I was streaming. The other night I was streaming and my wife Carrie comes in She says, "Are you still streaming?" I'm like, "Yeah, why?" "I can't see you." And I look at my screen. I was on BRB for 24 minutes talking. People could hear me, but it was BRB, so that was kind of fun. I'm going to chat in Twitch, but to watch Kick for Losers Infiltrate. Yeah, no problem. Watch where you like. I'm hoping they do. They've been adding a couple features to the Twitch. I mean the Kick side, but I'm hoping like on the Twitch side, I have an audible alert because like when you're doing stuff, especially if you're playing games and everything. By the way, how's the sound quality game? I mean, it should be all right. But as you're playing like into a game, I like hearing that audible sound. I mean, I'm always looking over anyway, but I like hearing that audible sound. I wish there was something over on Kick side. Eventually, there might be a bot or something that'll be able to do it, or I'll have to do it myself. So it just gives an audible alert. So I have, if I look over here, this is Kick. If I look over here, this is Twitch. If I look up there, I got my bot for all my stuff, Discord, OBS. I have this one off at the moment because I pulled out one of the cards. That old the 760 card or whatever. I yanked it out. That was what was causing my 1080 to overheat because it was so it was like this close to my other card, and the fans wasn't getting to it. So the fan on the 1080 was going towards the card, bouncing back and hitting my fan, hitting the GPU and overheating it. So I'm like, all right, kind of a poor design to have two cards like that so close, right? It doesn't make sense, but I don't know. But the new system, I'm going to be building it soon. I've been speccing them out. I'm not sure if I should go the AMD route or the Intel route. But I want to be able to power up and play anything. You could always bridge one so they wouldn't be close. Yeah. I want to be able to power up my system and play any damn thing I want on super ultra. I want the computer so freaking powerful that my lights dim. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Yeah, the one I was looking at is I know a couple of folks that bought from Cyber Power PC, and it seems to be pretty decent here. So I was looking and checking them out. I went right to Gaming PC. I went to the GeForce RTX 4 4090 series, but again, I don't know anything about the equivalent. You know, I definitely want a good card, and I don't know if what kind of cards are the same here. So if I do RTX 4090, I think this is the top beast that's out there, but the price is, you know, fucking astronomical. But this is like let's see, let me look at the specs here. Look at the FPS. What the hell? I've never seen FPS at 300 something. Those cards are beasts too. Yeah, the one of the guys that I watch on Kick uses the 4090, and he says right now it's overkill because not even being utilized by even the top games that are out there. But I want something, if I buy it, I don't want to have to worry about it for a few years. Like the 1080 still runs everything that I need it for. I've been thinking about getting one of their refurbs at CyberPower. Yeah, it seems like it's a pretty good place. Have you ever bought anything from there before, Log? But there's, I mean, I think we did the comparison, right? Friggin' cold that we did side by side pricing. People say, well, you can save some money, but the price of it is so small now compared to what it used to be before. Yeah, you could actually, you know, buy the parts yourself, have it shipped to your door, and you'd save a couple hundred or a few $100s. Now I think it's down to like 200 gap, maybe tops. And to be able to have someone hassle free, just deliver it, I plug it in, and I'm ready to go. Is what I'm gonna do now. Plus, I'm scared as fuck to touch hardware again because the last time I did it, I lost 2 drives of data. So friggin' cool was building. I I think you built this one, right? Yeah, I think you built the one I have on my wall now, and some other stuff. Yeah, but I built them for years. I had a computer company that I was doing stuff for, and I was the owner of the company, and that was way back when prices were uh, profitable. Now you can buy stuff so cheap from companies that you can't make computers anymore and make a living out of it. Big power consumption, so you need a power. Yeah, I think the ones that are there are like 1,000 watts now. 1,000 watt power supply. That's crazy. Like if I was looking at like what's the difference? I wish there was a side by side. So these are both Intel processors, the 3900s. Yeah, look at the difference. An RTX 4090 24 gigabyte GDDR6, a 24 gigabyte graphics card. What the hell? 24 gigs. I think the current one I have now is 8. But look at the FPS. Like I'm that's like crazy. These are rated pretty good from the reviews. Nah, I'm not going to do anything with VR. I mean, I don't want to say I won't use it, but actually, this is a 4070 card. We ain't doing that. So we're definitely going with this. So let's just look at the specs here. Let's just look at the specs. I'm surprised they all come with Windows 11 Home. I thought I had to upgrade something to go Pro to do something. I think it was the virtualization. It had to be a 11 Pro key. My GTX 970 from 6 years ago is still working fine, so no upgrades for me. Yeah. But you don't like to spend money anyway. It takes you 16 years to buy a new piece of furniture. Never mind. Upgrade. Yeah, so we have a Intel Core processor 9 i9 13. Yeah, 13.9. Wow, look at the cache in these things too. Holy shit. I don't care about overclocking. I never overclock my stuff. 4090 24 gigabyte GDDR6X video card. Ada Lovelace. I don't even know what that is, but that sounds cool. Oh, VR ready. I don't care about VR ready. 1,000 watt thermal take tough power GF3. That's what I have now. I have a thermal take case, open air case. Asus Prime Z790p. What? Needs versus wants. Yep. 32 gigabytes of RAM. I thought of doubling that, going with 64, 128. I never have to worry. I don't want to worry about anything ever for years. Oh, I thought that said 11 terabyte. So it's 1 terabyte. Are these the M2? Okay. 4 terabyte SATA 3. I don't need a monitor. I don't need the keyboard. I don't need any of that stuff. Guess it comes with that. Yeah, I researched the whole build, and it is a good one. All benchmarks and upcoming releases are preloaded. Make sure you turn on XPS if you want to. Yeah. I mean, they should do that, right? Wouldn't they like know enough to do that? Probably not. I don't know. Yeah, probably not. If we look at the specs of it, it seems to be one of the higher ones. Yeah. And there's nothing frivolous with that comes with it. So I thought maybe, okay, I don't need this, and drop the price down. But this is like all base stuff that you'd need. like laser engraving. I don't need anything laser engraving, so I checked that. Maybe I'll put this lyric Pepe cat on it. That'd be kind of funny. No, that's stupid. CPU. But they got this, so let's go back up to the top. And I'm just gonna code on this machine. I'm not playing any games. No, that's funny. So the AMD graphics, the gaming systems is what I don't know. I haven't had an AMD since 10 plus years. I would buy it. Plus, in your room, water cooler is probably the way to go with low airflow. Yeah. No clue on AMD. But their systems are like half the price of what it is. And I don't see. Yeah, I see the Radeons. I always, what was the cards that used to be? It might have been Radeon or something that the cards weren't compatible as Nvidia and stuff was. GeForce cards. I don't know. So that's I'm thinking about it. Might pull the trigger any moment. And I'm buying 2 of them. That's funny. I'll probably buy carry a smaller one, obviously, but anything she has is better. I mean, I was out there watching her load her computer up, and I'm like, what the hell's going on? It's like, yeah, it takes that long. I'm like, what? Yeah, I see your computer. You got like 2. You got 2 of those. Or did you buy 3 monitors? Let me show you guys Friggin' Cold system here. Last time I looked, you had 2. Get her the same one. Where's my notifications? Yeah, this is Friggin' Cold's setup right here. That's pretty sharp. Yo, there I am. Look at that. And these ones, are they all curved, or is this is a normal one? This is curved. This is curved, right? You have 2 curved and one in the middle. 8,000 coffee runs alone. Yeah, that's cool. 33. Oh, so this is a curved one too. I couldn't tell. I just saw the tweet and went blind from the white screen. Yeah. Look at that. Hell yeah. I still get a kick out of you have a nice cool place with him. Like he never puts nothing on his walls or anything. So you don't see any pictures hanging, you don't see any welcome signs, and you don't even see like a Glade sticker on the wall or something, an air freshener. Blasted, he didn't want to cook bacon in his on his countertop because he didn't want the splatter. So he sent me a picture. He cooked it outside. That's awesome. Oh man, that's funny as hell. Cooked the bacon outside. I was like, what? What am I looking at? Did you cook the neighbor's dog or something? Whole lot of empty, yeah. Well, I guess you can't really, right? If you live in a condo or something, you got to get permission to do it, and then there's liability. If you put something on the wall, you hurt the wall, you got to repair it. If you leave and you paint it a weird color, you got to paint it back to neutral colors, all that type of shit. All right. What do you guys think? I put some torches. This is the first thing that I did here. Look at these torches I put up. Those are kind of cool, right? They're not too distracting. I think they add a little bit of spice there. Game on. Game on. Put the chains in the other day. The torches are nice. Torches are nice. Yeah, I did those in. That's my first actual. Well, you saw it if you guys follow me on social media, but I posted that the other day as my first animation that I did in Sprite. It was kind of cool. And then I watched some videos prior. Risey's a lady that I like watching. That's a developer. She does Godot. She's making her own games and stuff like that. And I was asking her, okay, if I have an animation, I thought I could just import the GIF file and have the animation running. Like I could move an image over, and I couldn't do that. So I had to make a sprite sheet. So I had to break down all of the images. And luckily, Sprite does that. But I'll show you where my torches were. I think it was right here. Is it? Yeah. So this was the torch. This is what I was working off of, like that. So I did everything here, and then when you play it, you can see the torches going. And then when you convert it into an sprite, it actually splits these out by how many frames. I had 4 frames, so it split about into frames. What's the command bar in the bottom? This bar. So the initial, I don't know if you ever played Zork before, if you ever played like text-based adventure games where you would be prompted in here to say, okay, you have a door in front of you, and you have a chest on your right. What do you want to do? And then here you would say, or if you want to go north, you'd say go north, or open chest, something like that. So I'm going to have some interaction to bring back that old feeling of the text-based adventure game. But then I'm also doing, in those games, you'd have to put like attack or defend or heal. I'm bringing the graphical side into it too, kind of merging 2 cultures. So here you'll see buttons that will come alive. Yeah, D&D type stuff. So you see the roll initiative. This is what took me a little bit the other day to figure out. I was coding it. I had a logic error, but I figured it out at the end. But when you roll for initiative, you click on this button and it goes into a phase right away, and it rolls a d20. Oh, I actually have my dice over here. Ooh, I keep my dice over here next to me for inspiration. You know what I mean? Get my dice out. Go with this dice for d20. So you roll the d20. Whoever gets the highest, the enemy or you, gets the initiative, which means you get the first action that you want to do. So here I'm kind of starting to simulate that where, okay, player roll the 6, encounter, or the monster roll the 20. So the monster wins initiative, attacks. A lot of these are debug lines, so this will be a lot cleaner. It's not going to be as verbose. I'll clean it up a little bit. So the monster hit me, did a normal hit. Player's armor class is 10. So in D&D, you had to roll armor class or higher on a D20. So it rolled a 19, so I would take damage there based upon the enemy. And I did add it a little further. What the hell? Got a bug. Get dice index on base integer. Oh, guess I don't need to do that. I love the bugs. I'm like, throw it at me. Throw it at me. I'm 8 days in. Pretty much wrote this language. So it's already an integer, is it? Weapon damage. I'm passing in weapon damage, which is up here. So I shouldn't have to do this. On base integer. Make sure this is right. Roll dice 1. Let's just take it out and see. I thought I had this all working the other day. Just rerun that. I like this too because it's fast, right? I'm sure it's going to get slower as the more content I put in it, but you can quickly debug scenes pretty fast. So let's roll initiative. Okay, it's still failing. Invalid get index. Oh, I know what's going on. But we need to actually do... Yeah, I think I need to do a -1 on that because an index, if I pass in an 8, this is rolling a 1 to 8. And I think because it's an index, it starts at 0. So it's actually 0 to 7. Let's see if this will do this. And I think I might... Do I need to do that? We'll see. See if that actually tests it. All right, player was hit. I got to get to normal hit on the player again. Counter was missed. I want to see a player hit a monster. Oh, still got it. Get invalid index. So it doesn't like this. Let's do a print. Let's do a print. Weapon damage. Let's pass that in and see what we're passing in. I thought that might have worked, but. Okay, let's reset this out. So we'll move this over here because now I'm going to be doing some output on the bottom left. Over there. Over here. Oh. All right, total roll. No weapon damage yet, and it failed. It failed at this line. And it's not sending in invalid get index dice on base integer. Yeah, that's right. How come it's not showing me? Let's go to the dice command over here. So I'm passing in underneath the dice, making it static so I can call it without making an object or instantiating the dice. I'm sending in the number of rolls, which would be one roll, and the dice type, which would be an integer. And I'm returning an integer, which is what I would expect. Oh, I wonder if it's, no. Let's go back to the combat script. Let's go back up to here. This is where it's failing. So I'm assigning damage up here to be 0. And damage equals... Oh, do I need that? Wouldn't it just be that? Yeah, why did I sign? Why did I assign that? It's actually where it's failing. So you'll see this marker over here? I don't know if you can see that. It's actually showing, so it's failing on this line. But I'm assigning this. I think, yeah, this should actually take that. I don't know why I had damage dot there. But let's check it out. We are passing. I don't even think I need to do this, but if it's already an integer, why would I? That's what I was trying to get up here. What is the actual value that we're sending in? And I think I was able to do, like, if I do print, can I get type like this? Like type weapon damage? Can I do that? Function type not found in base self. Let's go to here. Type. Type. Well, maybe it's get type. Get type. I'm always trying to relate it to Python, but in Python, I could print out what the type is. And the type is basically telling me that, is it an integer? Is it a string? Is it a Boolean? Is it... Okay, so this doesn't like that. I know. But why couldn't I do that, though? Print the weapon dot type. Cannot find property type of base int. Okay, so it is integer. But it just told me in the error. All right, so let's run this again. Let's check. All right. So this, all right. So player rolled a 20. So I got initiative. I attacked. I did a normal hit. You can either do a normal hit. Actually, there's 3 types of hits that I'm putting in. You can do a normal hit, which is anything from a 2 or anything above the armor class. In this case, the armor class of the monster is 10. So I have to roll a 10 to 19. That's considered a normal hit. In this case, 20 is a critical hit. So that means I'm doing double the damage. And I'm adding a 1. So if I roll a 1, it's a critical miss. So something's going to happen to me. Like I'll fumble down, I'll drop my sword. If the monster did a critical hit, they swing, they fall down, or something. I'll add some text there to make it pretty cool. So the mob took 1 damage, bringing it from 20 to 19. Yeah, that sounds right. So, okay. And I added output down here at the bottom, this debug over here. Can you see my mouse when I do that? Oh, you can't see my mouse? Why the fuck can't you see you can't see when I'm pointing? Oh, what the hell? This is just me. I can't see the mouse. I wonder if, hold on. One moment, please. That's an OBS issue. Let's see what the hell is going on there. Let's see what we got going on here. Hold on, sir. Yo, hold on. Properties. Capture cursor. Just like that. There we go. So over here, I've been pointing this whole time and I realized I turned it off because I was doing something else. So down here, you can see I'm capturing all of these rolls and I'm outputting it down here just as a debug. So I know that I'm rolling a d20. So I rolled a 20 that matches the initiative 20. The monster rolled a 6, so that matches that. I rolled a 13 against a 10, so that's that roll. Weapon damage, which I just put in as a debug line, I'm doing 8 as a base damage as a test. Eventually, that would be the damage of the weapon, which could vary. Two-handed sword would be D12, a dagger would be D4 type deal. D4 meaning dice, and 4 is meaning I can roll. I'm rolling a D4 dice, which is 1 through 4 for damage. So the total roll was 1. That's cool. Matches that. And then here's the mob. Did 1 damage. Total health was at the start was 20. Now -1 is 19. Okay. And I'm returning that back out of the statement to be able to output this. So that works. I don't know how the hell this worked last night. Maybe it didn't, and I was focused on something else. I didn't change anything in this code, and now it's throwing a bug. So but I'm glad that it did because we just fixed it. Okay, there it goes again. We did that. Ooh, that's interesting. So double 20s. So I have it in the game where if the player rolls and the monster rolls and it equals the same roll, I give it to the player as the winner of that initiative. Are you going to put in hit speed roll? Are you going to put in a hit speed roll? Dagger with a lot of faster than a sword, even though lower numbers. Not right away. I think the base game will probably be basic functionality. Like I'm not going to worry about encumbrance or weight or anything like that. I'm not going to worry about you have to eat or you'll have to consume something to get your health back, but I'm not going to have hardcore elements in it. Yeah, that's a good thought because that's the reason why you have different abilities like dexterity, because that would roll against a dexterity check to, that could probably give you a bonus to damage, or your strength would typically give you a bonus to damage because you hit harder. But that's all comes later. I want to kind of get this fun and playing through from A through Z so I can get all the fundamentals down, and then I'll add content. I mean, there'll be enough in it for like a demo or something once I add that. Oh, by the way, I did add a site. You do !project. You'll get a link, and that link will go to a site called itch.io. And that's a site where people do almost like a Steam page. It's a place where a lot of indie developers, indie meaning not AAA, like big publishing, developing companies like Blizzard or something, but it gives an ability for people to, thanks for that. I'll bring that page up. gives a way for people to kind of like promote and put stuff out there. So I kind of made this page out there. I put in some starting words, some of my starting dialogue. I put in some screenshots out there. And it's just another way for people to see what you're doing, have like a dev blog. You can post, updates and stuff like that. So that's kind of cool. There's the main page. Welcome the folks. It does have my links that are up there, and then they can click on. You can have multiple projects. So I follow some people that have like 12 projects that they released. So you can click on that, and then that brings you into the game. Yeah, I thought that was kind of cool. It's all free, so you don't have to pay anything. If I do eventually get to the end of this game and I want to throw it out there for like 50 cents or something, this site handles and brokers all that too, which is kind of cool. So an indie developer or one person developer or a small team can throw games out there. They do have games out there too if you scroll through, but they can throw games out there to promote their content, get a little bit of money or whatever, something like that. But so feel free to check this stuff out. There's a lot of ones that are like in browser too, meaning you can click on the game and play it, and you don't have to download or install something. It's played through the browser. Some of them are kind of funny. Some of them, I can't say anything bad about people that develop games because I haven't developed anything yet. But some of them are kind of good quality. Some of them are iffy. But I'm just fascinated that if you just scroll down, you see all the different types of games people are building with different engines too. Some of them really cool. But another way to check things out. And you can see too, it says Windows. It tells you if it's for different types of consoles. Here's one that plays in the browser. And you can do everything like this. I like this. Let's see just what it is. Mr. Krabs tax evasion. Yeah, they have a lot of funny concepts out there, but English. Sorry for the loudness. I don't see a way to start the sound. Take a card. That's like rule number one. Like rule number one is I never understood why when people, and this is even like Blizzard and all these other companies like AAA, they call them AAA title publishers, that when they load a game, they always maximize sound. Right? Like every game that I play, you load it up and the game's blasting. Why don't they put it at like 50% volume or you opt in for the sound or something like that? But it's always blasting to me. All right, so this looks good. Let me just roll quite a few so nothing bugs out. Yeah, it pisses me off bad if you know how to play with no sound, so it drives me nuts yet. I can't imagine you playing without any sound, but all right, this looks good. All right, so from here, I got to kind of figure out how I want to carry this through, because right now I don't want it to get too lengthy and how it's going. So this is the main scene. This is where we start the combat. Right now, combat is like, this is just for initiative. This is when it does its first attack. All these rolls, I want to make sure that it's repeatable and I don't have to keep writing the same code again and again and again to go through the phases. So that's what I'm trying to break out. It's not too bad if you use the speakers, but yeah, especially earbuds. I mean, this gets louder. I actually have, if you see you can't see it, but my volume is typically set 40% all the time because these headsets are really good. Or they're HyperX Cloud 2, so they're not like top super notch, but they're what, $60 or something like that. But when you have them on and they clamp on pretty good, if someone's knocking on my door, I can't hear them because they're like sound reduction. What do they call that? Sound noise canceling, I think, right? Is that what that is? You can't really hear. You're super focused. It's cool because the surround sound is really crazy in some games, but it's always loud. I'm like, man, turn your stuff down. What the hell's going on? Turn your stuff down. All right, so this is what I was thinking of doing. I'm still trying to debate. I have it mapped out visually, the brightness. So this is what I'm recreating here, everything that's in this green right here. So they start combat. I have the initiative part done. The attacker goes first, checking against the armor class. Then you have the result of the attack. So I have the critical hit in. I have the damage in. I didn't do critical. I have the miss in. I didn't do critical miss. I didn't do death. And I didn't do flee. So I guess I can do, well, I want to actually see. It would be cool if I take damage. This would be kind of cool. Let's see if we can figure this out. If I take damage, I wanted to adjust this health bar right here because I think that would be huge. If I take damage, I want to deduct the total from this health bar. Let's try that. Let's try that because we already have the damage in here. So let's try that. So I think if you go to the visual part, all of these things have properties on them that I can communicate with. And the property that I want to reduce is called value. So we already have the bar up there that's accessible. So if I go to P bar health, if I scroll to the top, what do they call it? I called it health. Okay, so it's just character HP. That seems pretty cool. So this should be pretty simple. Let's see if we can actually do it, though. Let's see. So attacker goes here. This is the monster goes first. As we can see here, you're going to do. If it's a critical hit, do. All right, so here's where we're going to do the critical part. Right here. It rolls. So here, oops, man. Apply damage to player's health bar. And that's the bar we want to do. So I think would be dot set value, no signal. All right, there is a value. Value changed. Value. Any parameters? Let's look at let's look this up. That would be a progress bar. Progress bar. Let's check it out. Let's check this. I love the inline documentation. This is fantastic. All right, let's come down here to some methods. We have any methods? Fill mode, set fill mode value. Set fill mode value. The fill direction, see fill mode, show percentage. If true, okay. Fill begin to end. So I might actually have to, let's see, font sizes, fonts, constants, color themes, integer, show percentage. We want to deduct that value. Show theme. Okay, maybe it's not under here. See the value. Get node property value. Get node property value name, integer. We want to set the value. Get connection. Here we go. Is this the... Oh, that's scene state. That. That's dictionaries. Set value. Well, let's see if we can get some of the stuff. So let's do... I should be able to call any of these. Min value, max value, and then value. So let's see if we can print some of this stuff out first. Let's go to print character HP dot value. I'm going to do that like right up at the top. I just want to see if it will print that out. That should be, I think I set it to 100. Anytime I go into combat, it should print that out. Yeah, 100. Okay, that's simple. So now I got the value. So let's do var new HP 0. This will be the variable that we're going to set it back to once we do the deductions of damage. So it would be, we're going to get the current health, which would be that bar. So we'd do, we have to set that to cur HP 0. Actually, cur HP, we can just do this. And that would be the current value. So this would now be set to 100. And now we're going to do cur or new underscore HP equals current HP minus the damage. And I don't think we're rolling for damage. We're not rolling for damage down here yet, so we got to do that. We'll do the same thing at the top. So we'll do this. Roll mob combat take damage. Okay. Okay, I could actually do that. We'll roll it up here. Critical hit 20. How do I do this one? Yeah, equals 20. I think I may change this to 0. Put the hit. And greater than defender's AC, which would be 10. Actions, normal hit. Actually, I'm down here. Check hit equal to hit. And it's equal to 20. And that is a critical hit. I think I simplified this up here. We didn't actually need that on the combat side. So this is a 20. Yep, player takes damage. Now we're rolling. The damage should be here. We'll do player health. We'll just call it damage. Actually, what am I returning on take damage? I think I'm returning these values. Let's bring this down here. Sorry, no. Return array values equals just for debug stuff. So we know if we do take damage, we're sending in now player. We're rolling, let's see, this is the player's health, so we can actually bring in current health there. Instead of passing in an integer, the problem is I need to make this an integer. So I think this would test this out if I send this in as an integer. Or I think I can do this. Let's put this back to HP. I think I can go like this. And then put int. So I'm explicitly defining it there as the type. So this would be a successful integer that I pass in. We're going to keep the 8 there. This would actually be critical if it's a critical hit, because this is what we're in the critical hit section. Yep, check the player there. We check hit. That's good. Player. It's complaining now. What is it saying? Expected end of sentence. Yeah, not. That's good. That's good. Damage. Okay. So I'm going to send that in, combat damage. I'm sending in that it's a player. I'm sending in the current health points, if that works. I'm sending in that it's a critical hit, and I'm going to apply as just a base 8 for damage. We'll make this a 10 on the player because he has 100 health. I want to see that chunk down. All right, so when we get that back, I do take damage. Let's go back over to there. When it returns, mob health, basically returning that. We're applying that, and I'm just going to deduct the health from that point. So that would be target current health, new HP. Or I could set it because we're actually doing the evaluation there. So I wonder if I could just set that value based upon the new HP. Actually, is this the... Where's the H? Okay, the HP is going up here, so that's where it's going. So current HP is going to come back. So I think, let's see if we can set the bar to be current HP equals new HP. So it would be DMG and 3. Print new HP damage. And it would be 3. So I don't know if this is going to set the bar, but we will see. I'm going to do a debug line here too. Print current HP per HP. All right, I don't know. Let's see. It's just a bunch of code I just typed up. I don't know what's going to happen. All right, so that's all right. So current HP, if you see down here in the bottom, it is matching that variable. So now this value was pulled from this value over here, which is the property. It pulled from the value, which is 100, which is the property of this red bar, my health bar. All right, player 4. Okay, so player hits. Normal hit. 14. All right, I didn't see any damage, though, that was applied to me. Ooh, look at that. Critical hit. Monster just hit me a critical hit. All right, so it's not applying that to the bar. Let's go back here. I want to kind of separate this. Print. Just put some type of collapse there so I can see the difference. All right, so it comes in here. We have a new HP. We actually don't need that. We don't need this. This is pulling that right. That's right. So I wonder if it's not gonna, I wonder if I have to do that value on against the bar. Let's put another spacer in here too. Let's copy this line. This rolls that, it rolls the armor check. It's gonna roll, let's put this underneath critical hit. And then down here we'll do, oh, okay, I don't think I added anything for normal hit either, so. Oh, it did show new HP. So it did show 98. So I did take the damage, but it didn't set the bar, which I think I have to set the bar. I might have to do a set on this bar. All right, let's do the same thing for down here so we can add the same type of damage. So this will be the same thing. I'm going to do a damage here. I'm going to do this. You can see why I have duplicate text. I have to simplify this stuff. So here's the same thing. I'm going to do damage. We're going to send in the current health points for there. Do the damage, new HP, And we're going to try to set this value. This is what I don't know, setting the value. So I'm going to do a quick Google search. Setting a value Godot progress bar. How to change the value in a texture progress bar? Nope. Progress bar, Godot engine, stable, docs. Is that what I was looking at? Nope. Here we go. Step. Oh, step. Default themes, colors, percent visible, step. Overrides range. Theme properties. Properties, setter, set, percentage visible, is percent visible. Properties, default color, font. So, no, I don't see progress bar. That is a progress bar properties. Percent visible, integer, size flags, vertical. Overrides control. Set v size flags. Tells the parent container nodes how they should resize the place of the node. Why? I don't want to do anything like that. And I don't want to guess, so let's do another search. That is a progress bar. Yes, it is. Setting a value. Progress bar tutorial.
Depend on the images you choose.
Basics of progress bar.
So let's create a simple node 2D
Uh-huh.
and add a texture progress node under it. Now click on the texture progress and open the texture. Here you will a little bit down. There's a minimum 2, 3 and so on. And if the step is 5, then the progress bar will move like 5, 10, 15 and so on.
Oh.
The next most important thing is the value. It decides how much we have completed.
So it's a
Our range
step.
is between 0 and 100, so the value 50 means half the progress bar is filled. There are also some other options, but you will rarely use it. If you bring your cursor over it, then it will show a short description of it. You can read it and it's very simple. Also, if you're using a plain image and it doesn't have in
That's
progress
texture.
the right side, you can also set it to right and left bilinear.
Oh, that's cool.
And now
Begin
it
to
starts
end.
spreading both sides. You might have
So I want that begin to end. I want end to beginning because you're going this way with the health. I want to set the step to 1 because we're going in 1 increments, not 0.01. So that's a good video on that. So I think it's now the step would still be that. Do you think that it's Shamim's dad posting the training videos? It could be. It could be. So I get, oh, here we go. I could just hover over it. The range changing in this property, even, I could have swore I looked at that and I didn't read the text. Even via code will trigger value change signal. Use set value no signal if you want to avoid it. Oh. So I wonder if I can go back to here then. This is going to be super simple then. If I go back to here and I click on here, I go to nodes, right here, value changed. That's if I change it, but let's see what else is tree range changed. Emitted when minimum value, maximum value, page, or step. Entered, minimum size changed. None of this. Has to be by the range. Value changed. Emitted when values changes. When used on a slider, I'm not using a slider. If you are performing an expensive operation, a function, no. Like signals such as line edit, text change value. Value change is also emitted when a value is set directly via code. That's what I want to do. I want to set the value directly via code. So value changed. Or do I have to do this as value change? Value is a float though. All right, let's look that up. We go to a little bit range to see Range. Range. Taskbar. We want progress bar. 2D container, taskbar, graph, arrange nodes, drag. Progress bar. Range. Yep. Minimum maximum using a configured step and page size, scroll bar, slider, methods. Okay, set value, no signal. Value changed. Value. Why would it be? Oh, it's a float. Okay. Did I read that wrong? Yeah, okay. I read that as a Boolean. I don't know why. So I'm just doing value change then. And I'm doing a set just value. Set value, no signal, float. So this is what they're talking about directly in the code. So if I understand this right, this should be set value, no signal. Go back in here, go back over here. It should be just here. Set value, no signal. And it would be damage. It would be float. Like that. This is going to be a integer, not a float. So I'm converting it to a float. I think that's right. According to my dictionary of zero knowledge with Godot, I think that looks right. If this is right, this 100% bar should tick from the beginning of the end to the beginning, meaning you're going to lose health, and it should lose health in increments of 10. You know? Let's see. 14. So that's me attacking the monster. Player, I need a bar. That's okay. That's me again. That's me again. That's me again. That's me again. Me. That's me. Me. Okay, here we go. Oh, I'm looking down over here. So it did do, so the mob rolled current HP, total roll 19, weapon damage 10, total rolls critical 8. My HP is now 92. So I am getting hit deducted, but it's not deducting it from here. Because I don't think I need to actually do the calculation though. Because this is just damage. I got to actually minus, this is setting the value. I got to set the value, but I got to do a calculation for the damage first. So, so let's do, what do we have up here? Do I have any variables up here that I'm storing? Current HP. We got current HP. Let's use that. So we're going to use current HP minus, we'll turn this into a float maybe. Float current HP minus float damage 3. Set HP bar. Put this up top here. No, I should be able to use just that. I should be able to just go current HP equals, we'll have to turn this into a float. So this should be a float. That value is a float. Float meaning if I'm at 100, it'd be 100.0. So now here I'm saying the current HP is current HP minus the float, the damage, minus the damage, which is, we're converting it to a float. And then this one should now just be, to make it easier, this. Set value to that. Print bar cur HP set value cur HP. And this should be a float because it's already a float up there. I think this makes sense. Set value, no. All right, let's see. I just want to see this tick off here. 14 attacks, player was missed. Not me, that's not me. Okay, player was missed. Yeah, I'm still at a current HP 100. Just when you want to get hit, I should make a button here to test it out that I do hit right away. Player was missed. Counter was missed. Counter was missed. Player AC with a roll of 14. All right, so this is attack, normal hit. I don't see it ticking my bar though. It did deduct it. Player 2, 198. Current HP is 98. Current bar HP value set to 2 though. So that's not right. I gotta set it to, so it's not setting the bar. Let's just check the bar to make sure I'm not locking anything on it. Go back to over here. Let's see, show percentage. It does. Minimum value 0. Maximum step is 1. Page value rounded. Okay. If true, value may be less than minimum value. No. Okay, that's true. Yeah, so that should, so I'm still not setting it right. End to beginning, meaning it's going this way. I'm starting at max value. Max value is 100. It's at 100. I'm doing a step of 1. Greater than 0, value will always be rounded to the nearest. So that is true. So if I set it in code, I don't understand how. Let's do it through the node now this way. So I'm going to go to, it's already there. I'm going to go to the node. I'm going to do value changed and connect. And then now we have a new bar down here. On progress bar health value changed. I'm going to do print value changed. And then I'm going to see, yeah, value change, and I need to send in the value. So if that's the case, I should be able to just do all of these calculations. We'll comment this out. And then this should be on health bar changed. And the value should be current HP. We'll do the same thing up here if it's a critical. Zero, 2, 3. That's right. Damage 3. Okay, let's try this. Let's try this. Roll it a couple times to see. I don't see the bar going anywhere. Still, oh, it's still, I guess I'm missing. I'm not even getting hit. There we go. So there's some hits. Player 2020 HPs. Okay, so it's still not value change. So it is getting to the function, but it's not changing the visual for it. change the visual? Back to the inspector. So let's try it from beginning to end just to see if it's not that. Show percentage. It's fine. Minimum. Max value. We'll start this at 1. We'll do the opposite maybe. So that's 1. That's what I was thinking it would chunk to. I would set the value to be hit points. So now I have down to 1. Yeah, that should have moved the bar right there. But it's setting current HP to 1. So I'm not setting it right. So let's look at that. I'm not setting it right. So let's do some debugs here. It is getting there. Do I need to set it here? I don't think I'm setting anything here. Change. So I'm passing in the value, but I'm not doing anything with it when I pass in the value. So let's print out value changed. Let's print out that value so we know what it is when we pass it in. So we should be passing in the current hit points. The current hit points are established by every time it goes into combat, it's pulling the value from that bar, which would be 1. Now we know it's not that. So let's put this back to 100. Let's go from here to end to beginning. This is going to pick up whatever the current value is on this bar when it enters this combat. Right. It's going to store it in current HP. It's going to come down here. It's going to roll the dice. If it rolls a 20, it's going to hit the critical section. It's going to roll for damage. And then it's going to print new HP is damage 3. This is the third index of what's returned, which would be 0, 1, 2, 3. It would be the new hit points that are returned. New hit points, that's correct. Current HP, which is this value of 100, equals current HP minus the damage. I don't think I need this. And then bar current HP set value would be current HP. We're going to call that function. I think this calls it. Yeah, it calls it because it comes down into this part. Let's make sure we change this stuff like we did down below. Bar value. It's going to come down into here, and then I don't know how to set it from here. Yo, Toxic, what's up, man? What's up? Good morning to you. So then how do I change? Is there a on bar value changed dot? No, it's just let's see if that, I don't see a setter or anything for it. $13, $7, $6, $15. Trying to figure out how to change the bar now when I take damage to deduct the bar. It doesn't seem to be impacting the visual. So let's go to, if I go to here, I look at the signal. I mean, when values change, is a float. When minimum value, maximum value, page, or step change. Do I have to do change? No. Do a print. Yeah, that should be deducting. It is doing it mathematically correct in the output. I just have to figure out how to change that bar. On bar, so I have a node that's set up. I just don't know how to set it in here. Could it just be character? Health. Where's my health? Character HP dot fill value changed. Changed. Value changed. Accept the value. Is there a set value? Set value, no signal value. Mm-hmm. Yeah, current bar HP set value 12. The visual isn't changing. Disconnect. I don't think I got to redraw it. Focus, get input, minimum size. Change. Emitted when value changes. Unlike signals such as line edit text, underscore change, value change is also emitted when value is set directly via code. So let's see. Let's just see if I can just set it to be. I'm just going to set it when I go into it. Then let's see if we can set it to be. Character HP dot value 50. So when I enter here combat, I'll expect this bar to go to 50. Doesn't like it. Let's see. Okay. Non-existent function value and progress bar. That is a function. Non-existent function value. If I go to over here, I go to there, I go to node. And I go down to inspector, there is a value. Property is value. Ranges current value. Changing this property, even via code, will trigger value change signal. Use set value no signal if you want to avoid it. Set value no signal. HP set value no signal 50, and it's a float, so it requires 0. I think it might be assumed anyway if it's a float, but we'll see. Nope, that should have did. It did do the calculation properly, but it's not impacting that. Huh. No, I'm no idea what I'm watching. The step is one. We shouldn't have to do anything with the step. So let me make sure I'm calling. Yeah, so it is called right. It is attached to a node. Let's remove that just to make sure it's not conflicting with this now. So we're going to remove disconnect. Disconnect. In the code, we'll remove these. Setting that up here. Let's just comment out all of this line. Comment all this out. I think I can do that with this. Yep. So if the monster wins, I just want to set this. I'm eliminating everything down below just to test this bar. Character HP is up here. Character HP is the health bar. I want to do that. I wanted to make sure that this is set right. It is. Bar health, so that is right. Come down here. Set bar 50. Value float. Shouldn't have to put, yeah, I shouldn't have to put value there. We'll just do that. We'll see if we set both bars just for the hell of it. I want to see something change. Nope, nothing's changing, dudes. Nothing's changing. Why wouldn't that change? Set value, no signal. It's a float. Let's look this up. I think I can I just click on that? Here we go. Set value sets the range's current value to the specified value without emitting the value change signal. That's, yeah. Value change called when the range's values change following the condition of change value. Yeah, I mean, that's what I want to do. Range. Yeah, I have all that code in there. I mean, that's exactly how it's going to run. But right now I'm testing it. I removed all of that code, and I'm as soon as the monster gets initiative, I'm bringing my bar down to 50 just to test the ability to set this bar. And that's what we're doing. So when the monster wins, I'm taking the character bar and I'm setting the value. And I'm setting the value, which it tells me what the value. It needs to be a float. A float is point something, right? 50.0. It's 50.00. I don't. Float was just one decimal, I thought. Yeah, so well, it could be anything. One decimal. and then any numbers after it up to a minimum maximum. So 1 decimal should be fine. 50. Let's go back to here. We're not locking the value. Minimum value, maximum value, step one at a time. If we want to decrement it. Page, what's page? Used mainly for scroll bars. Value. Ranges current value. Range changing this property even via code will trigger value change signal. Use set value no signal if you want to avoid it. Okay. If true, the minimum value is greater than 0. Value will be represented exponentially rather than linearly. Linearly rounded. Nearest integer. Maybe that was screwing it up. And I wonder if that's a full. Yeah, so it picks that up. I'm never working with floats in regards to my damage rolls, so that would never apply, but I'm going to uncheck it just to see. Nothing else is locking it. And end to beginning is cutting the bar in half right away. So that shouldn't have anything to do with it. As soon as it goes into the attack phase, that's me. So that's the player. I'm not rolling any damage because I don't care at the moment, but it's not setting the bar's health down to, not setting the bar to 50%. Let me take my glasses off for a minute. Maybe it's the glasses doing it. So let's look this up. Set value, no signal. All right, Google knows frickin' everything. I might have to use Chat GPT, the AI. How do I set a bar? And let's try that. Let's see if this thing's smart enough. This is the Chat GPT that you can ask it anything and it knows how to do stuff. What are you trying to do? I'm trying to just set that float bar. I mean, the progress bar to be the value I want it to set at. Like right here. Character bar is the node unique name that I'm carried over. I can get the value of that bar, so I can interact with these properties over here. I'm trying to set the value, and it says use set value no signal if you want to avoid it. So I can set it directly in code like I'm doing. I wonder if this thing's going to know. I'll be shocked if this thing knows. It's thinking it's doing research. In the meantime, is it a progress bar? Yes, it is. Progress bar. Oh, this is saying. This is saying it's just set the progress bar dots. This is just saying set value, but that can't be. Yeah, that's the only one. That's the only way. Oh, unless it's not thinking like this, is it? 0.5? This was originally 0.01. I wonder if it's thinking this as... No, because that's just... that can't be it. No, okay. Wanted to make sure. I wanted to make sure 1 remaining is the maximum, but I should be able to set this to anything I want. And I do want the step to be 1 at a time, and I want the bar to be set at 100. So you notice if I change this to like 10, oops, sorry. If I change this to like 10 and I go back, you can see that it sets it to 10. End maximum value. Yeah. End to beginning. Well, this would originally be 100, so the full bar, and I'm deducting it from the end of the bar to the beginning of the bar, as a health bar would go down. Set value no signal gives me the ability to set it without defining a specific signal or node, so I can set the bar directly. So this health bar has these change values, so I can set it where if this node gets a signal that it's changed, a value change, it would do X, Y, and Z, or value change to a float, you can do that. So I could also do it like this. If I click on this, it brings me in the code and it automatically puts that bar there. So I could, let's see if we could do it from here. Character HP dot value equals 50. So let's uncomment these out. And like that. Are changing the bar. We're passing current value, which is going to be this. Current value. Oh, there it is. Why is it? All right, so let's see if this would be a value like that. Okay. So that's working now, but it's filling the bar. So is that the opposite? So I got it working now by using that node. So I guess that what I was testing the bar to see if I can set it directly, just to see if I can interact with the bar. I did have the node set up before, but I guess I wasn't passing in the value properly. Now I'm going back to the nodes and using those, which you should anyway. But now the bar is end to begin. Oh, okay. I kind of read that backwards, don't you? So I want the bar to shrink this way with health. So I think it's beginning to end. Fill mode. Fill direction C, fill mode for possible values. So I wonder now if this is going to deduct it. Bar, current HP set value. Okay. Hold on. Hold on. All right. So we got the interaction at least to work with the bar. I just needed Toxic to chime in and question my sanity. All right. So let's go back into the script detail now. Let's look at, because we're setting the player. We come in here. We're getting the current HP, which is the current value Actually, I don't even need that now. I can just get it like this. I don't need the float. So I'm getting the current value when this comes in here. What's the current value of the bar, which is going to be this value? It's currently set at 100. Value. That's right. Armor class, yep. Check hit, yep. Now we're going to assign a damage to be the combat roll. We're always going to pass in 10 damage as a placeholder. What is the function to actually shrink the bar, health bar? Was it value change? So you're over, so you hover over that for, but yeah, value changed. Value change on the node change. Value change signal. So if I go up here, value changed, this is the signal, value change, and it takes a float. And that links it to the UI component. It doesn't, no, but it says I could have used that as an option if I didn't want to do it. If I wanted to do it directly in code and not through the signal, I could do that. Like if I go down here, it says use set value no signal if you want to avoid it, meaning I don't want to trigger the signal of the change through the node side. I wanted to do it directly, set it directly via code. And that's what I was trying to do, just set it to 50 just to see if I can interact with that component. But now it's not saving the value. So if I do, so I'm doing var, I'm getting that. So weapon damage 10, roll 8, critical player 16. Okay, so it's keeping current HP 20. So it's not setting the bar right. All right, so let's see. New HP. This isn't new HP. That's a problem. No, that is the new HP. Sending in current HP, which is the bar value. I wonder if that's screwing up. This is why I had to do an integer here. If I set an integer here, this value will persist as an integer until I cast it to something else, I'm thinking, right? So then this takes an integer. I shouldn't have to do int here, right? Shouldn't have to. Because I'm not defining those other ones as strings. They're assumed strings because of the quotes, but I'm passing this value as a raw number. So the new HP is going to be the returned value of the array. I'm doing the calculation on the damage and passing these 4 index values back, and the third index is going to be HP new, current HP. Actually, I don't even need to do this then. I don't even need this line. Don't need this. And this one would be, I'm going to pass in just this damage. I don't need to do any evaluation like that. I could set that to an integer, if I wanted to, but I could set that to be like var new HP just so it's more readable equals damage 3, and then I could set this in. I can call that signal, pass that in. It's going to come down, do the same thing down here. Hold on, chat, I'll be with you in a moment. Take this and set this. Yeah, I was wondering why is it always getting the the max because I wasn't setting in the value properly. So now down here we're passing in new HP, which is already calculated on the damage roll. And I'm passing that to the bar. It's going to assume, the new HP is going to assume the value of value. We're setting that to be value. Oh, look at that. Oh, love it when it works. This is what I said I was assuming ranges current value changing this property either via code will trigger change. Use set regular if you want to avoid it. Yeah. Oh, even via code. Use. See, I read that as the last line wouldn't require change the node signal there. Am I reading that wrong? This is working now, man. I'm kind of freaking excited. Let's go back in to read that because I want to make sure. So how I read this, as you typed it, ranges current value, which is 100, changing this value property, even via code, will trigger value change signal. And then it says, which I don't understand then, use set value no signal if you want to avoid it. So in parentheses is telling you even via code. Well, how else are you going to set it? So how could that last statement ever be true without firing that signal of value changed? Well, that's just talking about the code in the value change signal. Yeah, but if you did it through, let's see. Let me see it. Let's test this out again. I thought I character.hp character_hp dot set value no signal 50. I thought this worked. Just comment out all this. Go in here. Here. No, so it didn't. That didn't work. I don't get it. You get this. So it actually works now though. So I think it is deducting, which is very cool to see. So now if I come down here, you can see my bar. Can you see that bar? You actually can't see it. Let me move this up. You can see the health bar tick down now as I take damage. So it starts at 100. As soon as I take damage, mob took damage. I got missed. Player, attack. Mob took 1 damage. Okay, there it is. So first damage taken. Weapon damage 10. Here, so it's down to 94. Took 6 points of damage. Cool. Docs are a bit too long. This signal value change is what value changed does. Emitted when value changes. So when used on a slider or not. You're performing an expensive operation or not. Oh, value change is also emitted when value is set directly via code. So it's always going to be value changed. That's kind of weird. It's still confusing to me. That's still confusing to me. If I set it directly, it's still activating that signal. When that other one was specifically saying no signal. And it takes a value. So I should have been able to set it right there. But Wow. You know what I just thought of? I don't actually have a health bar. What do you guys think of adding a visual? Should I keep the text version of the monster's health? Or should I add a UI element? It's not currently a UI. It's just I'm just doing it in here. So I could cut this bar down, maybe. Or I could put it up here. Or over here. Have it appear if you're in combat. What do you guys think? I kind of like the bars at the bottom, the player, because the player is the central focus. So keep his stuff big. And then if you go into combat, I could do it a couple ways. I could shrink this attack window and then, you know, save a little spot down here for a health bar. I could put the health bar here. I don't know if I can make it movable, but you know what? You know what, Toxic? I was thinking of that. I was thinking of having a bar or some form of like a visual. So you're here, you're enter a monster, and I'd pop up some like a player card, or if you saw like a, I don't know, what do they call that? An avatar or something, something like this big, a square, and it would be a pixel of, you know, I think that would be kind of cool. Maybe I make that as a separate frame then. Yeah, a separate frame or canvas UI element that when you go into combat, it would activate that overlay, which would be right here. Yeah. What do you guys think of that? Is that cool? I could actually work on that right now. Yeah, I could have the monster almost like the player. I can have the label for the monster. So skeleton warrior. And then let me just do it in let's go into paint. You know, everyone loves paint. MS Paint. I could have it like so it would be like here. We'll have it rounded like the other one. Yeah, paint. Everyone loves paint, man. You love paint. Press 1 now. So we can have the bar. It would be matching like the colors. So we're just going to say it would be a bar. Let's say this is the screen, right? We would have a bar that would appear. This is the action, you know, window that's currently there. This is the main screen. And then the player bars are down here, right? Like that. We can have it appear like this. And then it could have like the title. Could be like right here. Skeleton warrior. I can't move that once it's. Oh my god. My god, my skills. Skeleton warrior. There we go. I could have it like that. And I could have it in the bar too. Or have it free floating above it. I'll probably have a label. And then you'd have like the picture. Hey, this is a skeleton warrior. You know, like a little image like that. And it would be half of it, right? It would be like the top part would be the visual. And then these would be like the health bars. It'd only be one health bar, but or maybe some stats about you know, a cool description. Yeah, I think for now it'd probably just be one. It'd always be 1-to-1 combat. I'm not gonna have like a horde of things at the moment to have more than one card. You're gonna have one monster max at a time. Also, at some point, will you be able to multiple monsters at once? Not initially, no. Yeah, yeah, the last. But that's cool though. You think that would be kind of neat? I kind of dig that. And then this would still be the text. I could actually shrink the text down to be like that, or I could overlay it. No, I think, yeah, just make sure all the elements. Yeah, I was thinking if I shrink this bar down here, like this text window right here, instead of it going full screen, because that's a pretty big screen. I guess let me type in some mock data. I want to see how this thing actually looks if I type in a bunch of stuff. If I type in a bunch of stuff, let's go to my itch page. Where's my itch? If you type in ! project, it's getting pretty cool. This is getting pretty cool. We're in deep. We're in deep. Where was that page? Nope, nope. It's TV. So I'm going to go to my itch page. This is my project page. If you type ! project, it'll bring you here, kind of like a blurb of what I do. And I'm going to take this blurb that I wrote for the starting intro. I'm going to paste this into this text here just to see what that looks like. And then I can format the size. What I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking. Text story will unlock. Can I just paste this in here like that? Okay, bam. See what that looks like visually. Looks pretty cool. If I shrink it, it's going to get longer. Shrink it. Yo, what's up? I'll have a iced coffee. Yeah, I have a black iced coffee. What? Be careful. Isn't it snowing out? No? All right. Thanks. So if I look at this, guys, and I unlock this, should we make it... Should we make this screen smaller? If I unlock this, should I make it... Well, let's see how it looks. Yeah, it's gonna... Should I make it smaller like this and then keep it this as an option? Let's see what that would look like. And then always reserve this? Or should I make it full screen, or like it was before, and then I can overlay, kind of like an overlay like this, another UI that would appear here, but it would be over the graphics at the time. It really doesn't matter, because the combat graphics will be in this window, not this window. Just wondering from a usability standpoint, is it easier to keep it full size? Because what else would I put over there? It's almost like you're going to look at the screen and say, what the hell is that margin over there for? You guys following me? You guys following me? I think that's good like that. Well, let's test it out. If that's like that, let's set it. Yeah, so the UI wouldn't be on that frame. It would be on this frame. Panel text frame. So let's see if we can do something like that. Let's do, or actually, would it be another scene? No. Would it be another? Might be. Not another scene like the whole thing changes, but a scene where I can have a layer pop up. But I'm wondering if it would allow me to still interact with this layer. Yeah, if I shrink it like I did before, you're going to have like, You think it is? Yeah, I mean, I want that honest feedback. So do you think it would be easier like this then if I change this and put it like here and then go into here? This is how it would be. You'd have a scrolling bar here to read any text. This would be whatever I wanted to put there. Now, what should I put? Should I put placeholders there, or should I put like just keep it blank and then pop them up when something happens? Trying to think, if I'm playing this game, I know I definitely want to see a health bar when I'm attacking something. I don't want to read text. I'll have the text omitted there, so like showing it. But I like to see visuals. This wouldn't matter. So you're in a story, you get to a certain point, this something happens, an encounter happens, this window stops. The activity is now in this window, and then a UI card would pop up. Completely depends on the audience you want to reach. I mean, I'm thinking like old school vibe D&D type folks is probably my target. People can appreciate reading text and also, having like a visual interface with some stuff here. I mean, I could define this right off the bat and put encounter panel, or just keep it blank and show it as I need to show it. I guess I can put some controls over there to see what it would look like. I wonder if I can make this bar a little cleaner. Let's look. Roll active. True. Yep. If you're used to games that have UIs similar to this, it could be fine, but I can see it being a bit overwhelming depending on how many different elements get added to it. Right. Yep. Yeah, you don't want to have like pop-up after pop-up after pop-up or stuff to be too centered, or too cluttered. I get that. And again, I could always adjust, like the UI is easy, but we're at a pretty good fundamental path road here, or crossroads to say where do we want to put the UI for the monster. It also depends on whether you want users to be able to have bigger text or users who might be difficult. Yeah, that could be added after I can adjust the size of it at any point, or have a slider, or I'll probably have a settings. So let's say they don't like these torches or something. I'll have basic settings where, all right, the torches are annoying, right? These will disappear. Basic shit like that. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. So what do you guys think? Do you guys think the UI would look better if I had this reserved like this? So this would be the gameplay. I'm going to see if I can get this bar to be a little bit less noticeable. Or even not even that. I could shrink this down a little further. Bring it over to here. But the monster cards and health would be in this window right here. Or I still think I can keep this full screen all the way over. And then the monster card would come up as a layer. And I'm thinking I could probably even have that layer movable where someone could take that bar and move it like over here or something. Too much reading. I already hit escape. Well, this is a text-based adventure game, so it's probably not for you, right? So you will be reading, like at least seeing visually. You'll be reading for what's actually happening. Like if I load up Zork game. This is playable online. So if I load up Zork, this is Zork. If I start, this is it. It's all visual, right? You're standing in an open field west of a White House with a boarded front door. There's a small mailbox here. That's it. Then you just go open mailbox or something like that. I don't know what the command is. Open the mailbox reveals a leaflet. Read leaflet. You know? That was Zork back in the day. 1982. So I'm taking kind of the visual, I'm taking kind of the storyline. Yeah, where's my skip on? I'm taking this I'm taking the storyline that I wrote and making it text-based, but then I'm making all these other things visual components. Instead of typing attack, you'll click an attack button. Yeah, I do too. I mean, I don't think I've ever read one piece of lore in World of Warcraft for 14, 15 years I played. It was just like click, 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 click. Maybe I'll make it an Easter egg where if you click your escape key in my game, you take 10 damage. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I could do this too where it spits out, instead of starting like this, it would spit out like this first sentence. You hit the space bar, it spits out the next paragraph. It would be going like this. I don't know. I have to work out the flow. Or I might just say, fuck it. And I'm not doing a text, a game. I'll turn it into a 2D game. And the visual will be in the beginning of it. But that's a whole nother, I think that's a whole nother beast. I got to get through the fundamentals first before I do that. Turn it into a thing. You get a piece of a checker and you're like, doot, 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 doot. Like Pong. All right. You see a monster. Pong. Ding. Hit. Ding. Tick. Tick. All right. Let's expand this maybe a little bit more like that. Lock this bad boy in so I don't move it. I'm going to go to the top part of it. We're going to go to a panel. I think it would probably be, I think it should be another scene. We're going to make it a panel now because I think I know how to work with the panel. So the panel would be inside here, panel frame. Right click, panel. Oh, come on. And we'll anchor this to the bottom right, like this. Zoom in, we'll drag this up like this. Slide it over, slide it down. That's too big, but we'll put, so I could potentially put multiple here, but let's just make this as easy as possible for the moment. So this is going to be the panel. Put counter panel. And then in the encounter panel, we would put the label. Child node, label. And we can make this center. We call this a placeholder for monster name. And we can make this center and center. Come down over to layout. Make this fill the whole thing if we wanted to. Form. Okay. This is LBL monster or mob name. And then we'll have another. This would be a, I think it's a texture. I don't know what this would be. Add an image, but is it considered texture rectangle? Maybe. Be like the image of the monster. And then the health bars at the bottom. I'll put a mob image there too, just for a placeholder. And then the last one would be, would have a couple progress bars. We will put in the bottom here, we'll put a horizontal. Would it be horizontal? No, it would be vertical. V-box. Down here. This. And then in here, we will put a progress bar. And then we'll make this to be 100. 1. Rounded. No, we don't want rounded. And then we'll make another one. Was it going to need anything more than health? I will add a mana bar. Should I add stamina too? Armor. Armor, like armor class and stuff. Yeah, I could put that in there. Let's space this out. So I should be able to come to here now. If I go to layout, container, fill vertical, expand. So it will take both of those slots. Do that. And come over to here. Shrink this a little bit. Too big at the moment. Bring this down. Oops, bring this down. I put like some image in here. Let's put like a, I'll put like a monster image in here. Let's, I think I have something. Image. Let's do like one of our monsters. Placeholder graphic. Let's see if we can find a placeholder graphic. Pictures, something that I drew maybe. Screenshots. Pixel art. I guess I could just put that image in there. I can use the icons of a skeleton. I can just use this, I guess. Whoa. So it's not going to be the full. It's just going to be the, what do they call that? Just the bust, from the chest up, or maybe just the headpiece or something like that. If I put the whole body in, it'd be too small. I think the head would be kind of cool. Health bars. I can put the armor class here. Should I even put that? Armor class, or any stats about it? You can always add it after. We'll add it after. Let's get these bars to reflect the same color bars down there. What's the color? This hex over here. And I think we did a theme? Did we do a theme override with this? Oh, we did a style. Theme override styles. Style box fill. Styles. Fill. Create. And it was it flat? Perfect. Blue one, be consistent. Background on, corner 8. We'll do the same thing. Do here, we'll go to here, styles here. Flat. Must be that by default. Okay. So these are rounded, right? Are these rounded? I can't see. Nope. Fonts 20. It's fine. Corner detail 8. Okay, yeah, border width are all 1. Corner radius, okay, 4. 4. Border width 1. Corner 4. Shadow 4. Now those should match. Did I not apply it? Did it not apply it there? Didn't. What if I had them both selected? It would. Corner 4. Shadow 4. There we go. There we go. Whoa. Yeah. Thanks. Thanks. Armor. Oh, look at this. They have another. A McDonald's black iced coffee at 10:20 p.m. Yeah, it's all right. It's all right. All right, so that's kind of cool, So then I could have the placeholder name, monster name. Could have the health bar. I can even make this a little bit smaller, I guess. You guys think you like that? You guys like this? This could be way up here then. Where the fuck can I move this element? As a monster, as a simple monster card, we can always add like down the road it can do anything you want. Elite monsters, level monsters. Okay, I think that's kind of cool. Now we don't. Now we want to kind of disable all of this until they enter combat. So until roll initiative, or until an encounter happens. Which we kind of don't have an encounter yet, but I'll just keep that visible now. Thought that's kind of cool. Bum, 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 bum. Mm-hmm. I like that. So I guess now let's try to deduct the health on this bar. We could do the same thing. I probably want to make that a separate function. Well, it's going to be separate by bar anyway. So if I go back over here, now that we know how to do it, we'll do the V bars. We'll go here, right click. We'll make these are all unique names so we can access it. Then we will go to over here. Click on this one. Go. Going to be value changed. Right? Yep. Bump, 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 bump. That's one. Go to the other one. There's two. We'll move these things so we can access them. That's the character. That's the stats. We'll put a section in here for the mob stuff. Just call this mob HP, mob MP. Bring in the name, mob name, access by unique name. And we'll bring this over into here. Mob name, we'll put this at the top. I'll use that fancy up key. We will probably change this too, so we'll make this unique. Okay. So these are full paths, so I think I'm going to change this to be unique names so I'm consistent. Just so I'm consistent in how I'm using these instead of the full path. Actions. Panel actions. Panel. Shouldn't impact any of my code because I'm already using these all the way down. These labels aren't changing, or the variables aren't changing, so that's cool. Backstory. Roll up. Text main story. We'll do name. Like that. We'll go like that. There we go. Okay. So now all of my things are named the same pathing. That's cool. All right, we're going to change we're going to interact with the damage on the mob. So let's come down here. We already have the stuff like how to call it, which is cool from the player side. So we're going to emulate the same thing on the monster. So the player attack. So the first one, it comes into here. D20, this is where it happens. Player wins initiative. If the player is successful, we will do that like right here. This will be mob HP, I believe. So we get the mob's health. We don't need this debug line anymore. Clean that up. Player. So this is getting it above the AC. So we'll just keep that consistent then. It is above the AC check. Get that. It's above this. Not that it matters, but I just want to be consistent. Defender's AC. We roll against that. Eventually this will be imported. As I have right here, import the values from the monster dictionary to get these values instead of static. Right now, we're just using static to test out the functionality. And we get that. We do the player. We do the critical hit. If they hit, here's where they start rolling damage. We get that back already. We're having a new var here for damage, and then we call that bar. That's it. It's pretty simple. Critical hit. It's the same thing, same thing. Swap here. Do that. We're inside the critical hit. There's the combat rolls. We don't need that. Can do it right here. We don't need all this stuff. Still returning the damage. New HP is going to be mob HP. Actually, now we can keep the same. New HP. Damage 3. Critical. What's it complaining about? Identify damage not declared in the current scope. Yeah, I gotta define that at the top. Player AC, integer, damage, var damage, new HP equals that. Damage, DMG. Is that the same thing up here? Nope, we call it mob health. I think we need that. Critical. Okay, we're doing damage. We want to call it the same thing. Where's new HP? Fine right there. So I'm going to call this damage. I want to call this mob HP. And that's that. I want to pass in that. Should be it. What's this complaining about? Because this needs to be there. Nope, that was right. Mob health not declared. Because that is damage now. All right, so that returns that. So I should be copying the same thing, except down at the bottom here. And mob HP is going to be passed there, which is right. And then we're pinned. This is a normal hit. Do the encounter. We're going to call the same thing damage here. Don't need this. Going to replace this with the damage array that's returned back from the take damage function. Then this line. These two lines. Or else it's a miss. So now if we come down here, we're passing in mob health down to these bars. Mob health value. We're not doing anything with mana yet. Mob health value. We're basically just setting mob underscore HP dot value is going to be value equals value. And value is what we passed in, which would be the mob health. So that should now work. Let's see. Let's see what this will actually work. So as we do damage now for either or, the monster's health should change and my health should change if it's a successful hit. Let's see what will happen. Oh my God, what the? Yeah, what is this? We don't need this. What is this saying? Invalid get index. Current HP. We just call this current. Boom, boom, boom. Current HP. Critical. Yeah, so I need to pass that in here too. So that was wrong. That should still work, but we'll pass this in current HP from the mob. Do the same thing down here. Passing in the current HP. That's getting the mob value. Current int equals bar. Current int equals current HP. Int equals mob HP value. Let's check out the stats of the thing. 1 max. Okay, so that's all the same as this, right? Yep. Percent on. And is that beginning? Yep, beginning to end. That's still the same. Yeah, I took a point of damage. You can see my bar going down. I took more damage. Ooh, that was a big one. The mob took 1 damage, bringing it to... Yeah, I don't think the mob's health is going down. Mob HP, is that right? Mob HP progress bar. Okay. Current var. Let's make sure we're in the right section here. I'm just going to call this different just in case. Just in case something fishy happens. All right. So why isn't this invalid get index value on base integer? How would that work for one and not for the other? This is for the monster attacking me, so it's here. It's the same thing. Let's bring this up here and see if am I missing something that's crazy? Oh. Oh, we got to change this for sure. Got to change that for sure. Mob HP is what's, oh, yeah, okay. What's return? 0, 1, 2, 3. That's right now. That's right now. Current mob. It should work. Mob HP dot value. Invalid set index value on base. Okay, I'm off. Reached the end of my staying awake time. All right, dude. I'll see you tomorrow if you're going to be on. Maybe we'll play some video games tomorrow. Have a great night. So this is what I'm passing in. Oh, okay. Not defining the mob down here. Wasn't defining it. There it is. Okay, cool. Health bars going down. That's awesome. All right, guys, that's cool. It's what do we got? A couple hours? Yeah, we got 2.5 hours in. So we did some cool stuff. We got the bars finally, you know, at least the health bar, at least fundamentally working. We added in some basic text here, another panel, which we'll keep going through as we get this. I'll probably clean this up too to make it a little bit more readable as we go through, but at least we know now that that's happening. Ooh, that was a big freaking damage. It rolled a 10. 20 damage, the crit, double damage. Another critical. Who's going to win? Who's going to win? Down to 4 health. Activate flee. Dead. Dead. Cool. All right, guys, that's where we're going to stop. Thank you for hanging out. I will see you guys in the flip side. Let's see if we have any folks out there. I don't know how many people we got watching here, but probably not a lot of folks to do trade with, but we'll see. At least check what's happening here. As always, Toxic, thanks for stopping in. I know it's freaking super late for you every time, but I appreciate you stopping in for sure. Let's go raid Viper over on the kick side here. He's up late. He's up late. So let's go over here like that. We'll go to host next. And we'll do the Viper. Click that. Host channel. So that's done over there. Then on this side, we will do the close, and I'll see you guys later.